Some good news. A statue of the late Reverend Billy Graham has now been unveiled in our nation's capital. Governor Roy Cooper spoke at the ceremony that happened this morning. It is a 7-foot tall bronze figure in the Statuary Hall honoring the late evangelist who was also born in Charlotte. The statue was created by Charlotte-based artist Chaz Fagan, who also has sculptures featured near the Charlotte Greenway and around the country. The base, created from Rowan County granite, is inscribed with 2 Bible verses. Graham is one of the only private citizens to get the Congressional Gold Medal to lie in honor at the U.S. Capitol, and now to have a statue in Statuary Hall.